So what are you gonna do about coyotes? Because because they're like a threat to squirrels and other type of animals like small dogs.
Wow, that's an interesting one because I know a little bit about this. I'm out at night late. I come from a background I used to hunt, and there's one thing that we have to understand here. There's coyotes out there, but they're not all the same kind of coyote that used to exist. Coyotes are they're in pairs, and they're not in packs like wolves. Wolves don't like to be around humans. Coyotes don't mind. The problem with coyotes, as we have them today, is a long time ago there was bounties on wolves, and we killed all the wolves. The coyotes moved into that space, but the wolves came back at one point. We stopped putting a bounty on them, and they bred with the coyotes. And what you're looking at is not a coyote. It's called a coy wolf. Scientifically, they believe it's a new species. So it's a coyote that's kind of the stature, the size of a wolf, or approaching the size of a wolf, which is big, but of the temperament of a coyote. So the wolves aren't going to ever be in Toronto because they're in packs and they don't like to be around us. That's their nature. But coyotes, especially in breeding pairs, will be here and raise their young amongst us. That's a problem because the big problem is they're really big. So first of all, we have to accept that these aren't regular coyotes in most cases. And two, they're living amongst us with no fear and they're much bigger. That makes them they're gonna cull and do damage to more wildlife, and possibly in a remote situation, even though I don't know that there's much of a precedent. There's one person, I hate to say a girl, she was an adult, that was killed down in Atlantic Canada. Coyotes will attack people, and they have in Mississauga. So what I would do about coyotes, I'd strictly have a policy where I'd call in the Ministry of Natural Resources. About time the province starts helping us in other ways. They got plenty of ministries. I'm not even sure if it's called that anymore when I used to hunt. And pressure them to cull or trap all the coyotes in Toronto and just take them out. Remove them hundreds of miles away. They do it with bears out west. Do it with the coyotes here. Or you're going to have to get a professional from Natural Resources. Sometimes when a bear or a coyote's killed somebody or something, it has to be shot. And that's an ugly thing to say if you love animals. I'm sorry. But I have to worry about little kids. I got to worry about people's pets. And as far as coyotes harvesting, I should tell you, in nature, coyotes do get rabbits and they do get squirrels. If they get those ones, there's nothing they can do about it. They have the way I see it is, that's nature.
Yeah.
But they can do that somewhere else.
Yeah,
and they are becoming a problem, and they're much bigger, and people don't realize they're not coyotes, they're called coy wolves.
Yeah, they can do it really far up north, like extremely far.
Well, just take them, they're not going to move back anytime soon. You know how they get into the city? They come in on the rail lines, the corridors, the pathways.
Yeah.
And that's a concern too, because lots of people want to use these pathways and might not feel comfortable. In Mississauga this last year, coyotes attacked people, and they did what they had to do. People got to be careful, but I mean, if anyone needed the green light, if a coyote attacked any human, let alone anyone young or their animal, and were a problem in breeding pairs anywhere, I would say to the police, use deadly force to remove them when safe and applicable, because you can't just let them go. One thing about an animal, once it learns it can do something, it will do it. So once a coy wolf decides it can start killing small animals and is doing a good job and attack people and have no pushback, it may run away. It'll just get bolder and bolder. Coyotes are a little different, a little smarter. So you're asking the right guy. Because my dad knew guys that had bounty. They went bounty hunting. My dad never bounty hunted wolves, but I know the difference between a wolf and a coyote. The problem is we have a third thing here called a coy wolf. So understanding it, making sure they're removed, or if we have to use force, or we have to cull them, which means kill them, we're going to have to do it. I'm sorry, these are tough topics, but we just can't let that go.